What is going on, everybody? Today is September 16th, Friday. It is currently 12 p.m. EST, 11 a.m. Central, and 9 a.m. Pacific. I want to welcome everybody in here today. We got Lord Commonwealth in the chat. Gee whiz, Matt Exafria. I see you, man. It has been a rough month. It's been a crazier week. But we have some amazing hosts today. I know all our hosts, our guests are amazing, but today these two folks are so special to the crypto community overall. But I want to introduce you guys, Miss Moda and Tropical from Cryptocities. Welcome, guys.
Hey, hey.
Hello.
This is
Thanks
how
for
we do it
having
here. We
us.
have all these fake applause and laughters and
The crowd's going wild, man. I can hear him.
Hey, Maddox.
this is yes, the chat is the Sand Fam meet. I mean, you guys already know the Sand Fam, but Tropical Miss Moda. Thank you guys for coming to the show. I'm very excited to dive right into it. Sparky, what's going on in the chat? So Tropical, Miss Moda, welcome.
Thanks.
How are you guys?
Not too bad.
Doing well.
Doing all right.
Yeah, you guys.
Waking
We
up.
got to do some ice breaking to get off the nerves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
please.
mentioning earlier. I'm nervous because, I'm amongst celebrities right now.
Oh,
so.
no. Game dizzy. No, we game dizzy.
It's the
Alrighty,
opposite.
guys. Oh no. You guys making me blush. You can't see it, but you're making me blush. Alrighty, guys. All right, guys. Welcome to the SandStorm show. We want to know about Cryptocities, but before we get into the details and all that, let's talk about what Cryptocities dev team is. Maybe we can start with Miss Moda, your background, how you got into Cryptocities and Tropical. You can continue right after her, maybe about your background as well.
Okay. So, well, I'm Ms. Mota, and I'm art director and environment artist at Cryptocities. And I used to work as an architect and scenographer, but the pandemic hit and I had to start seeing other options because the event sector had closed.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah. Well, I did like it a lot. I love the creative part, but I was getting a little tired of the stress, the crazy deadlines and everything.
Right.
So I was freelancing as an artist and also as an architect. And then I found out about Web3 and it was like mind blowing.
Oh yeah.
I started seeing all the possibilities. I found out about Sandbox. By the way, SandStorm was super helpful when I was beginning and it still is. But yeah. And I was invited as a voxel artist to Cryptocities Dev. And it was really great. Then I saw I could contribute more, so I approached Tropical and said, "Look, I can do this, I can do that," and started from there. No. But yeah.
And then Tropical saw the value. Is like, I'm not missing this, and I gotta grab her before somebody else does. And that's the game in this space right now, right? If you, I see a talent somewhere on Twitter, I'm like, I gotta get to that person before anybody else can, so I can lock them down. But I can definitely see that happening here.
Yeah, and Tropical also it's a super talent in environment design and game and doing such a great job leading artists. If it was a bad place to go, I wouldn't approach him at all.
And let's talk about Tropical a little bit. Tropical, how did you find Miss Moda and how did you get started? Tell us your background. How did you meet with Web3?
Yeah, so I was just basically I was just working a basic 9 to 5 like during the pandemic, and just like everyone else. And uh, I lost my job, and then I was doing freelance 3D art for a lot of musicians, mainly in the
Mm-hmm.
vaporwave scene. So I was doing a lot of
Mm-hmm.
like vaporwave stuff. So like album artwork, music videos. I did a couple like VR live streams, kind of environment builds. And during all that, I was, really getting deeper into this kind of like web culture, internet culture and stuff with like vaporwave and, tech, cyberpunk, aesthetics are, key, super popular. So uh, it was a 3D artist who said, "Hey, why don't you mint that?" And I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And
Mm-hmm.
and so he's like, "Yeah, like an NFT, you could sell the digital art." And hungry for trying to
Right.
survive, I took it up, and so yeah, I started off as a 101 artist, basically. Like, I got accepted into Super Rare. I was minting artwork there, and Rarible
Nice.
back in the day, and
Yeah.
Foundation, and you know, I did 3D art for, I guess it's been about like 10 years now almost. And
Wow.
I did do like indie game stuff. So like, nothing huge, but I helped out with people. Like I would meet people on Reddit and just like do hard surface modeling or whatever, level design, stuff like that. And so while I enjoyed rendering art and minting 3D art and stuff as like, one-to-one pieces, the passion for game development never left me.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
so yeah, and I was really hungry to kind of like, you know, show my work, and kind of, whatever, try to be a rock star or something. But I don't know. I really get off more on like working on a big project with other people, like,
Yeah.
building this huge thing. And games are hard to
Yeah.
make. It's
Yeah.
not easy. So, I found Sandbox. Yeah, that's that's
Yeah.
the hit line right there. I found Sandbox, realized like, hey, I can model, and hey, I can
Right.
level design, and I just started going at it. And I joined the game jam. I think it was like, I think it was called Glitch in the Metaverse.
Yeah.
Was the game jam back? It was like a year ago now. But Kai from Cryptocities saw my game jam submission and was like, just impressed by it. So he right away, just like you mentioned earlier, like you see someone and you jump on it. So
Yeah.
yeah, he DM'd me right away, retweeted my work and was like, dude, what are you doing? We're doing voxel stuff, like, you know, make a game with the stuff we have. Like, okay,
Yeah, it's so interesting because like we've been getting a lot of the stories that I've been listening personally, it's all about like, the pandemic, they were
yeah.
changing their job. I have a similar story. I mean, I was actually in a very well paying job at a corporate firm, but my
Mhm.
decision to leave it was that I didn't value money anymore. It was more about like I want to do something I
Mhm.
love doing, and I'm just wasting
Yeah.
my life here while all this exciting stuff is happening. I want to be a part of it. But
Yeah.
like it's so crazy because like all the stories I've listened to, it's um, you know, it's people, entrepreneur minded people seeing an
Mhm.
opportunity and jumping on it. So everyone
Absolutely.
that I've met over the year that's Sandbox, NFTs, whatever, is definitely all entrepreneurs, in my
Mhm.
opinion. And it's crazy to see this awesome community. And obviously not all communities are the same, but the communities that I've been surrounded with in the Sandbox and Sandstorm and, you know, even in some of the Discords, it's just
Mhm.
a beautiful place. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's great.
totally feel people in the Web3 are more open for talking and
Mhm.
sharing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
100%. Yeah, completely agree. It's, you know, I, like for me, also like Web3 presented an opportunity, and I took it. And, I was minting artwork and stuff, but, I will say this. So, around in the end of 2020, one of one artwork was like the thing, right?
Right, right,
Well, come to 2021, okay, all of a sudden it's profile picture collectibles.
right,
And I can't tell you how many one of one artists I saw kind of fall off a bit because the market changed. People were
right.
gobbling up one of one art like crazy. And but the thing was, if you'd like needed to kind of like broaden your perspective and like kind of look for new markets, you know? So like Web3 presented me an opportunity and then gave me a choice, right? Because
Right.
like I said, well, you know, I could continue trying to be a rock star, one of one artist, which I don't have a lot of energy for like social media stuff and you know, the
Yeah.
like. It's hard for me. So, you know, working in a big team is something that it, to me sounds cool. So I said, you know what, like the sandbox thing looks interesting. Building a game, you know, that's interesting. You know, I think I need to make a choice. And the
Right.
choice was that, you know, these other artists weren't diving into this head first because they weren't sure. But even though it might have been a risk on my part, I said, you know what? Like I'm gonna take the risk and I'll still do 3D art on the side,
Of
but
course.
you know, other 3D artists like me weren't really looking at that sandbox game dev stuff a year ago. Now it's got a
Yeah.
lot more eyes and yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, yeah. So like with like Miss Moda saying like what she was doing before, right? You can always go back to that. Like that's not going anywhere, right? For 100, like
Yeah.
if you're a lawyer, you decide to like work on the metaverse for a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. You can always drop everything later on and just be a lawyer again, right? It's not going anywhere, and it's just a great opportunity. But
yeah,
um,
absolutely.
with you mentioned Kai. Who is Kai?
Yeah, so the Cryptocities NFT team, it consists of Kai, who's their founder and
Mm-hmm.
CEO. So he's the one who first approached me. And then we have other members of the core team. So we have, well, we stated Miss Mota and myself,
Yeah,
oh, I'm the creative director and also
there you
do
go.
level design. Sorry, I forgot to say that. So I'm creative director and lead level designer for Cryptocities Dev. And Miss Mota is doing environment, art, and design, and she's the one of our art directors. We also have Kai's CEO. We have Will, who's a CTO, and Taz, who works with Will on tech stuff. We also have Bo, who's the COO, and Lawson, who just kind of project organization and kind of like
Operations.
artist management.
Mhm.
Yeah, with Bo, and then we have Riley, who covers social media. So it's like the core team right there. And also we have Giddy, who's another one of our art directors and kind of lead asset artist who kind of does quality assurance checks, you know, looks at all the artwork, make sure it's all good. But that's the core team right there. So on the main website, we're actually currently building out a development section. So
Mhm.
most of the people and avatars on the main website, which is a really cool website, by the way, a lot of those are the core team for the NFT project, and then also artists who are developing, you know, the cities that CryptoCities NFT is known for.
Mhm.
And yeah, so yeah, that's a you know great. Yeah, Schwanch is like a really well-known, popular artist within that scene. Does some really beautiful cities. You know, I know Perspectiva is another
That's awesome.
artist in there. Swan. Yeah, there's so many sick. Yeah, Mad Maraca. So many sick artists in the. They've really like accumulated like an insane roster of like voxel artists, right? Like,
Yeah.
uh,
I see these things on like Instagram, like similar,
mm,
isometric, top view,
mm,
voxel things made in Magical Voxel, and I'm like blown
yeah,
away. The
yeah,
amount of I like I hate entering contests because the amount of talent out there is just like
yeah. It's
it's like
tough.
what can I bring to the table when there we have all these like so many talented people, but
Yeah,
it's very interesting because everybody has something to bring, right, in the
yeah,
space, and that's the awesome part. So
yeah.
in terms of CryptoCities NFT,
Mhm.
or CryptoCities as a whole, and then the CryptoCities NFT. For those who may not know, what is the difference?
Mm.
What is one? What is the other?
Yeah, so basically, CryptoCities development is kind of like a sister project, I would say, to CryptoCities NFT. So essentially, CryptoCities brand is kind of like overarching, and then you have the NFT project, and then the development side, Metaverse development. So the project side, you have the cities, the 333 cities that people know. And then now the latest thing, which is pretty exciting, is the suburbs project. So that's kind of the next push within the NFT project itself. So within those cities, there's going to be these sort of like apartments, and people can own the apartments, and they'll be kind of attached to one of these cities. So it's like you're getting like a room in one of the crypto cities itself. So but yeah, that's what that is. So it's like 500 one-of-one custom voxel rooms. So same thing like the cities. Yeah. So similar to the cities, one artist creating, one piece. So the rooms are going to be the exact same way. And there'll be 500 of them. Yeah, they look super dope.
They'll be VR.
Yes.
Awesome.
And they're going to be VR compatible. So like you'll be able to stand in your room, walk around, kind of experience the glory of the voxel room that you acquire.
So
cool.
the instead of buying land, you're essentially buying a room that's pre-built or pre-designed, so to speak.
Yeah.
Will you be able to have the option to customize it in any way? Is there any things on that?
That I'm not too sure exactly on the full details on it. They didn't write that down for me to say publicly yet, so
Right.
I'm gonna hold off and say I'm not sure yet, and I don't want to excite
That's cool.
anybody. But yeah, they're still developing, working on it. But as much as they care about the details and adding VR capability to this, so they're really trying to go all out. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what else they integrate into it. Right. So like me and Miss Mota, we do not create for suburbs or the NFT project directly. We stick to the development side.
Right.
But so right, yeah. So we know just as much as you do right now.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think that was insightful alone. It's two different entities, so to speak.
Yes.
Kind of sharing the same goal, right? Two different teams sharing the same goal.
The main thing for us is that we focus on voxel art, at least for right now. And the development side, we're coming into the CC NFT environment, so we're utilizing voxel art, in another way, so through this Sandbox development. But essentially for now, right, we are kind of these two separate things, but we're under the same umbrella, and eventually, we kind of see this thing kind of merging, so, whether metaverse developments, how far we go with that, we can bring in, suburbs or something, and continue the sort of like immersive world building stuff like that. So voxel art is our game, so voxel art is our main game, and just kind of utilizing voxel art in these many different ways. So
yeah, voxel art is very interesting. It's like, it's obviously like pixel art coming to life, so to speak, and it has its own niche market, right? It's not like Minecraft. It's not smooth. It's not hyper realistic, but it has its own unique feel and whatnot, and people like it. I personally enjoy it because even creating as a creator, you think differently. You have to account for things differently than you would within Blender, as you might already know from your experience. We got a question from Maddox saying, how would an artist reach out to contribute to this project? Maddox is a very popular Sand fam, and he's literally has his hand in every project he sees. He loves it.
Nice. Kai and Bo and the team are always looking for artists. I'm always looking for artists too on development side. So, reach out to us, send us artwork, go for it. Don't be afraid to, I'm always on the hunt for just some type of talent. And like you mentioned earlier, it's just, there's a lot of talent. And the main key is just to making sure it fits, so we look at
I need to plug something in right there. I need to plug it in. Guys, you need to create a SandStorm profile, and that's where Tropical will go and find you. All right, that's what.
Yeah, me and Miss Mota will be in the in looking up portfolios in there. Yeah, so for sure. That's a good point. And I'll be honest, I have totally have done that. I've gone on the site and like just what's going on, what's up, like just checking it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's about to get even crazier soon. As you guys may or may not know, like I lead the tech side of that, along with the builder side of the studio, and we're constantly working on new things to bring more exposure to the builders and to brands like you and other brands as well. And we have this new feature that we recently released, shows like random voxel artists. Even I sometimes think that I think I've seen everything, and then like this random one just pops up, and I'm like, "Who the heck made this?"
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
it's in a lot. We have about like over 2,500 voxel creations on the system now.
Wow.
At least
Wow.
everyone has at least one, and it's just getting bigger and bigger, and it's just crazy to see all the talent.
Yeah.
And we're trying to push that as much as we can and give the builders the exposure.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool.
But just to add, the artists, feel free to send a message to us on Twitter. We're gonna organize a Discord, so keep up with us.
Yeah. We're gonna try to, we have a closed off Discord right now for our development stuff, but we're really trying to open up a little more, to maybe allow more people, more artists, and just honestly, inspiration from SandStorm.
Yeah.
Just create another safe haven, for artists who just want to work, share,
Yeah,
education.
I mean, I always say like we're all in the same boat, right? It's like it's not like some
Yeah.
people see it as like, oh, that's gonna be your competition. They're gonna steal that away. Like, no, like it's the more you share, the bigger it gets, the better it gets. Like,
Right.
and it's and we're all pushing toward that. Now, wait a minute, we're gonna get into some juicy topics. Chat, you may not know. I don't know if Slater8 actually tweeted this, but these guys were in charge of the Bored Ape Yacht experience.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's quite the.
I wanna. It's not. Oh yeah. Now we get to talk about the fun stuff, right? So on the dev side, you guys are studio. You have teams. You have the core team, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How the heck did you guys land this Bored Ape Yacht job? That's what I want to know. First, let's start with that.
Right. So it's a long story. Kind of a long
Was
story.
it like constant, like, give us the job, writing a message?
No, it wasn't. It just landed in our laps. And I'll be honest, I'm incredibly grateful. It's an absolute honor. The Bored Ape Sandbox World is our first official project, really to do like, contract
Yeah.
created, build in
That's
process,
crazy.
and then continuation. So when I first met Kai, he had someone who wanted a world built, and it wasn't Bored Apes at first. Crazily enough, this is even insane too. Maybe for those who might know, but Dingaling had reached out to Kai, who is a big fan of the Cryptocities NFT project. Dingaling, they own several cities, and said, hey, you guys are doing crazy voxel work, build me a city. And Kai found me, I showed up. Dingaling is very mysterious, never spoke through voice, only spoke to Kai through text, and that was
Okay.
it. And because they're anonymous still, so Dingaling is just like a very popular NFT collector. A famous slogan for him is, I buy NFTs and I don't sell.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
He's got 108 Bored Yacht Apes, 98 Mutant Ape Yacht.
Yeah,
Great. 51 Azukis, 8 Punks. Yeah. I see it.
We were blown away. We're like, okay, because fan of Cryptocities, the connection was there. We started development, brewing up ideas. But I believe what happened was like, oh, my world is next to the Bored Apes, so my world should be in theme with theirs. And we're like, okay,
Right.
so something. But then Dingaling says, you know what? Actually, you should probably build for them first because they need traffic, and then the traffic from there will flow out to other lands in the area. And
Right.
we're like, okay, yeah, like, I mean, if we could, we would. And the connection was just made. So,
That's
from
crazy.
my understanding, I think Dingaling kind of connected like Gordon and Kai. And then Gordon just saw what Cryptocities was capable of, saw my game jam submission, and was just convinced and took a chance, maybe. you know, so yeah, so Gordon basically had a meeting with us. So this is before they were doxxed and everything, and I'm like,
Right.
just,
Right.
just sweat. I'm kind of sweating bricks, like, oh crap. But we met with them, and they were just super cool and super nice. It just like, yeah, they were just like, go at it, have fun, like, show us what you can do almost. So it was pretty loose. It was crazily loose.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
So they
so
they ultimately just left it to you then in terms of creative freedom, huh?
sort of, at right at that moment, this was about a year ago now, so it's been a while. So about summer last year, that happened, and me and Kai were just like, oh boy, crazy. And we were still building up a team, but we had folks that we were confident in,
Hmm.
but it was very small still. And so I, yeah, we said, all right, let's do it. And I thought, well, to be have a little more conviction, I decided to buy an ape at that time, just one ape. That's all I could afford, but
Oh wow.
it was really affordable at the time. And ever since then, I just like dove headfirst into the Bored Ape community, and it's been like amazing. So like, just it's still definitely one NFT project where I felt like a really big connection. The other people there were very inspiring, and like nobody knew about this, so I couldn't tell anybody, but I had to like
Right.
fit in, and I did, and I found a kind of a place, and so it felt right. It's like I was just emerging into the community with the Bored Apes. I was starting to meet a lot of them, make friends, and I was like, you know what, this couldn't have come at a better time. And yeah, we just started going at it, going crazy, just building it out.
Yeah,
Um,
it's crazy, isn't it? Like in the space,
mm,
like you never meet these people. You talk to them online, like you don't have a physical connection, but you have this like
Yeah.
connection over the internet, and you essentially start missing those people once you make the necessary bonds. Like
mhm.
we stream, we play games, and when I don't do that for a week, and I'm like, what does Maddox up to? What's Sparky doing
Yeah,
right now? Like, I
right.
wonder what crazy thing Go West is doing now, right? It's like
Mhm.
it's just you get excited, and they feel the same way, I'm sure, and I'm sure you
Right.
guys do in these coins, and it's just a crazy feeling.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I guess it's not like a wild story or nothing. I mean, it was just a matter of like being at the right place, right time, and just like showing the work, right? Like, we've been busy, like, I miss you too, Dizzy. That's funny. I just saw that. But yeah, just showing up, doing the work, and like, just keeping your head down, staying busy, just,
Yeah,
building stuff. And right, like the old kind of corny saying, if you build it, they will come, in a sense.
yeah,
Like, it's true.
that
I
is
mean,
true.
it's so
That is
true.
true.
You just do the work and play it cool, like be
A lot of corporate investors would tell you otherwise, but I've
yeah,
seen it happen time and time again. If you
yeah,
build something nice, people do
yeah.
eventually come. It just takes time, and
It
it's
it
really hard to get this like
mhm.
it's distracted, right? It's easy to get distracted into like whatever you're focused on, and if you're being distracted, then you kind of lose sight, and then it doesn't succeed because you don't really build the thing that you're really going for, right?
Right. The intent matters, the direction, like is there some underlying passion, like, what are you trying
Yeah.
to get out of it? Yeah. So right, not the most eventful story, but a very surprising story of just
No, man, it's
you
an
know,
awesome story.
and it's been a year in development. So we've been,
That's crazy.
we've been very quiet. I've been wanting to scream about this for like the past several months at the top of my lungs, but I can't say anything. We still can't show very much, so I apologize.
Yeah.
We do have those screenshots that are being shared from like some renders from the trailer and stuff. Just to share a little bit of information, I mean, it is the world is big. There's even more still to it. So this is the city, Miami 2035. There's still other environments, so we're not done yet. There's more to come, but it's basically the purpose is like a social hub. So we weren't trying to develop a game world, and Board A team or Yuga team didn't really want a full-on game world. It's for apes, right? It's a world for apes to come hang out, take part in future interactive elements of Sandbox. So like streaming, concert streaming, there's like movie hangouts, anything that Sandbox is willing to provide for a sort of social hub experience. That's where we're depending on and weighing on. And as we know, Sandbox is an alpha, so these things are still being pushed out. And we'll be here to basically, update the world as it comes out. So for the Board Ape experience for Miami 2035, our focus was the art, the immersion, the experience, inside jokes, funny stuff, things that apes, from the Discord could jump into the world and say, I know what that is, and kind of get a kick out of it. And that's our focus for the world. So this is a teaser for the city itself, even because we expect more. We expect more interactivity.
Yeah.
We expect more to come for Sandbox. So even this city itself is like, a sort of a teaser to what's to come too. So this is just the beginning of many things. But right, the art and the immersion was the main focus for this build. But,
Yeah, with the features, obviously, like you said, we're in alpha with the features that's going to be coming. Season 4, maybe season 5, whenever.
Right.
It'll be sooner than we think, maybe. But a lot of that you mentioned will add a lot to the community, and not just Bored Ape Yacht experience, all experiences, right? And it's like having a specific community area like that where you said memes from the Discords or topics from that's got to be really challenging to like fit it into a social hub. Like you got to be on your toes, so to speak, right? Could you mention a little bit about that?
Yeah, thank you for asking that question. That is such a you could add, Miss Mota is smiling already. That is such an important thing, like to both of us. And I was obsessing over it, like I was not joking when like this world is for apes. Like everybody can play, right? It's open to everyone, but every community is gonna want a world that is like speaks for them, right? In their community. This is what we're about, and people want to show that off and be proud of it. And so I'm in the Discord, on the Bored Ape Discord quite a bit, hanging out, and I've told Miss Mota this, like sometimes I'm level designing and stuff, and I just have the Discord open. I'm not even typing. I'm just watching it flow by. And
part of the job is stalking your clients.
It's like, it's like a psychological thing too, right? Like art, most art is a psychological thing, like what the intent is and what you're trying to do, of course. But, we definitely wanted to try to get in their kind of mind space a bit and, take this sort of like 2D experience they have and like unfold it into this kind of like 3D environment, So you kind of get this similar feeling from like the chat rooms or, Discord, DMs, but out now in this sort of kind of like interactive space and environment. So, it was definitely an important thing for us to like make sure the context and just like,
we're speaking the Bored Ape language.
Exactly. It's got to be
Right,
relevant.
Yeah, and if you don't do that, it's just another city with voxel art, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And and then we're gonna have a lot of those coming up soon. But what you mentioned with the Discord, that is very interesting. That is something that I've never done, and now that you mention it, I will try to do that and open like the channels and like the Sandstorm channel and just leave it up and see what the heck is going on while I'm working instead of listening to streams or podcasts or whatever that I usually do. That's a interesting. I don't even know. Like I would say content to consume while you're doing work.
Yeah, another method of information. Yeah, it's just like a river, like you go to the river and you take a little sample of what's streaming down the chat, and I don't know, something will pop up. Like I've used like direct memes from the Discord and used them as like dialogue and like funny jokes in the Sandbox world. So that's pretty funny.
That's cool, and that'll probably like make people really happy, like to be able to see that, right? They go in there like, oh shoot, I remember seeing this, right? And they're like, I remember reading this, I remember being part of this conversation. But that's very cool. So in terms of like Yuga team, you guys are building this social hub. We have the teaser. It's Bored Ape Yacht Club, I think, is being released October 5th, if I'm not mistaken, or October 8th.
8th. Yeah.
Yes, October 8th. And and it's all done, right? It's all ready to go. It's just waiting for the release date, correct?
Yeah, so there was some like final like UX tests that we were going through recently. But I mean, art, missions or interactivity, it's all done pretty much. So we're just making sure it's polished and working correctly. Also, our build is huge. And the load times are a little heavy, so I hope we can figure that out. But if not, apologies, you might be hanging on the loading screen for a little bit trying to get in. It's pretty jam packed. We
went all way.
I mean, we went from like corner to edge, like it is loaded with assets. Like it was pretty wild. Yeah.
There was I think one of the experiences, if you've been playing the experiences daily, Jinta Valley.
I haven't played that one yet.
I would definitely go in there and check it. Like one of my favorites has always been the Lululand in terms of level design and color palette and all that.
I keep hearing Miss Mota was telling me about Lululand.
It's as soon as I saw it, it's just like wow, like that's how you build like a well-balanced.
That's the reference.
Level.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
And that's what we use on our side too. But when I went to Jinta Valley, right, and it was not as organized as obviously Lululand, but they literally used every block of that land that they dedicated in one shape or form, and they made it work. But it's like it just seems like a big like brainstorming session that happened when they were building it, and it's crazy. Like you can definitely spend, like I would not recommend anybody, we do a lot of hide and seek and playing on these shows or other shows. I will never play hide and seek in there because that game will not end. And I definitely want you guys to check that out too.
Cool.
We will. Yeah. I'm curious now.
But now I'm curious to see what you guys did, and I have to wait till October 8th.
Yeah,
to find out.
Yeah, I hope everybody could enjoy it. I mean, like I said, it's definitely a world for apes, but we designed it to where it makes sense for everybody. It's just maybe references and kind of little things like that. Here's another big thing about the Bored Ape build. That's where I met Miss Mota, and she should tell them
actually about Bo invited me on Instagram and I thought it was a scam. I almost didn't. I thought it was a scam. I didn't say anything.
You better be safe than sorry. I mean.
So I went to my phone, opened the link on my phone and said, no, okay, this is a Discord. They're working. Okay. But I still took a little while to believe it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
So,
she DM'd me and was like, "Hey, like, she'd made some assets," and I was like, "Hey, these are looking great." I was like, "These are awesome," and she was just building up confidence and messaging me more and more and getting just more involved. And one day she's like, "Hey, can I help you? Like, like I have a background in this and architecture and stuff." I cannot tell you, like, for me as like an artist, like I'm a very like loose kind of
mhm.
experimental artist. I just like smash things together and stuff. And she has like a very like coordinated eye. She's can use AutoCAD. So we literally for the Bored Ape build and even for Metakey, she was doing like architectural layouts of like the
Oh my God.
interior. I
We
you
we
know
have a couple of people that do.
yeah
We're very thankful of those people, by
yeah
the way.
yeah
And
like yeah
we
'cause-
have. I know the benefits that bring. Right. They do the math. It's all like I get it. I understand
yeah
it, and that's
yeah
very cool though.
yes.
Miss Moda, did you do everything in CAD before it went into voxels?
Yeah, I worked a lot in CAD and I use a lot SketchUp also. So when I started using Voxel, it was kind of easy. It kind of looked like the same. So I went from that experience.
Yeah.
Mm.
And maybe
Yeah.
that was your way, since that was something you're already familiar with, right? It was probably easier for you to design your whatever was in your mind in that and then bring it into
Mm.
voxels, most likely, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it even like just helped to sort of I do a lot of the like discussing with like the leads and stuff. So like I
Mm-hmm.
would meet with BAYC team, get the general idea, the vision going, and I would arrive and I'd have this vision of the city, right? This kind of concept. And I would, I'd get in a meeting with her and I would share my screen and like, all right, we got this big old empty space, what do we do here, And we just start shooting out ideas and I'm like, okay, I see this house with like a pool and whatever, all this stuff. And she's like, oh, okay, well then you want like this style of home, that's like relates to Miami, and the
Right.
interior, the color should look like this. And I'm just like, whoa, hold on, like let me write all this down. And it was critical. It was critical. So we've really found a great balance to like she has this very like kind of like just that architectural eye
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of come in here with these wild ideas and she kind of like trims
Yeah.
the fat off of them and like makes it nice and lean and makes it work because she does a lot of the modeling too in the art and I'm do more of like the concepting and level designing yeah, that was a great way to meet Miss Mota and she I'm so lucky that she decided to DM me and was just like, "Hey, let me help you. Like, you look like you're going crazy." Like, it's overwhelming, right? Like, big cities, Miami 2035 is pretty big. I mean, and you could ask any developer right now. I'm more than sure if you say, "What's it like to build a city environment?" It
Yeah.
is insane. Like if you said,
Yeah.
build me like a wooded area, forest. Okay,
Right.
a lot of repetition with repeated assets, just instances of trees and rocks or whatever. But with the bake build, it's like, oh, we need a little shop here and another one,
Right.
and then this is a
And
shop
And it
for
can
this.
be the
it
same.
it
It can't be the
it's
same. Yeah.
it's not only that, it's the little things inside the shops, right? Or
Yeah.
like you gotta like you can build the buildings, great, right? Those are easy. You get them out of the way. You do each floor, but now you gotta furnish all that, and they all gotta look different, right? And it's such
Exactly.
a challenge.
Yeah.
But I can definitely relate and understand, especially like with I needed some help with like some civil engineers from like divining some things for a couple of projects that we were doing
Oh,
in
nice.
terms of like how does a user flow, right? How does a user walk in? Like how
Yeah.
would you design this if this was a real city and you
Yes.
were,
Exactly.
how does the human experience walk through a real world? And then we bring that in here because I've been also playing with you know how you take a room and if you paint like the ceiling white, it makes it seem taller, and if you
Yes.
paint it darker, it seems shorter. Or if you paint the sides, it has this other effect. I've been playing a lot with that in voxels as well, and
Yeah.
it's you get the same effect. right? And it's not this. It's not a different size. It just seems bigger. Or it seems smaller. It's just
Yeah.
Exactly.
crazy to implement those real world techniques into
Yeah.
building tools in the metaverse.
And where we have to be worried about face counts and like game optimization, like color helps so much at this time. Like you can do all these textures and like make everything look more profound or yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to. I know we don't have a lot of time left, so
yes.
we've been seeing this trailer in the background. I mean, if the Bored Ape Yacht Club looks anything like this is amazing,
Awesome.
right? And it's probably better from this. Depending on the funds that went into it, but
they're totally different one from another. It's not even like we can compare them. Like
yeah, it's hard. They're definitely very different directions and the like what the teens were after and looking for. But so also I just want to say one more thing. Like, so the Bored Ape build is huge. We honestly, this was a big, team effort. I do want to give some credit to some artists, because without them, none of this is possible. They're dying to share some information, artwork as well, but all of us are under sort of like a, NDA, like we can't share stuff yet. But we had Momo on our team, so he was doing a lot of like facades, shops, buildings, animated props, just detailed, really cool props. And by props, I mean just like objects within the world, right? Like doorways of vehicles, I don't know, a vase with flowers. Anything we ask, Momo is killing it.
Momo is insane and he kills it.
Yeah, tears it. Everything Momo does is amazing. Digital Delang came in and was doing vehicles specifically for us. Digital Delang is an amazing vehicle specialist. Did a lot of that in the Bored Ape world. Did a really special assets that was huge. Digital worked on it for like almost like a month. I can't say too much, unfortunately, but we'll be, when everything goes live, we're gonna share our team's work and go into detail for all of them. But yeah, we also had Fake Crux, Infinity, Balder, who took care of some like organization for us as well as doing props. Resonant Tales did some really cool and creative props for us. Some really
very funny one.
Yeah, really fun. He had a great time just doing some fun stuff. Oyman did some like, oh yes.
Yeah, as you're mentioning these, I'm going through each of theirs if they have a profile on the SandStorm, and they do.
They do.
Except for Resonant Hells, I'm gonna go find him now.
Yeah.
So
tell him, get on the Resonant. Yeah, but yeah, Oyman did animations. Benjamin also did animations and like large, complex structures and stuff for the Bored Ape build. So you'll see some of his stuff like overhead as you walk around. We also had, so real quickly, Ayachan, Geek Goddess, Gun Gods, Hippo, Mr. Slim Fan, Polar Arcade, Raphael, Sheba, Sun, The Stalker, Tlena, Toking, Johan, and Zebraman were some of the artists who contributed to the build. Yeah, so, yeah. And
the Sam fam knows these people. There's so many familiar names. I know a lot of them already working on other projects as well.
Yeah.
In the meantime, and it's just they are all so talented, and it's just it's just amazing. And they're from all over the world.
All over the world. All of us are from everywhere. Obviously, Miss Mota in Brazil. I'm here in Texas in the U.S. I mean, we have Momo like in Canada. Fake Crux is in Mexico. We have artists from Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Australia, Korea, Japan. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, beautiful thing.
So is this similar team also working on Metakey, or is it a different team? Or parts of the team, maybe?
So actually, Bored Ape build is huge. We needed a full-on team. It was impossible to try to even think about this. And considering how dense and complex the city was, Metakey approached us. They wanted a smaller build, and they wanted to be really hyper-focused on just like one kind of environment. So we actually, between me and Miss Mota, we built the Metakey experience just us two.
Oh wow.
So
We did also use some assets that we had in our library that artists contributed, but basically,
You gotta take that moment, Miss Mo. You gotta get used to the celebrity fan.
sorry, go again.
But yeah, as
But
you were saying, yeah. So basically, from the Bored Ape builds, we pay the artist, for their assets, but we do keep some of those rights over the assets.
right.
We do give a bit of power to the artists as well. They are allowed to resell their assets, to take them with them and use them, as long as it doesn't have any copyrighted or IP related things like Bored Ape logos, Metakey logo
Mhm.
stuff. But so we would basically take some assets and repurpose them. And in the middle of this, after Board 8, we were trying to restructure our core team and like be more efficient, get artist payments faster, the Discord make it more neater, using more workspace applications. So we had to put a kind of a pause on big production stuff. And this landed on my lap, Metakey did, at the same time the Bored Ape build as well. But the issue was that, we were small team, Metakey got a bit busy as well, and we kind of lost contact. Months go by, Metakey comes back and says, hey, let's work. And I'm like, let's do it. And so I said, you know what? At the time, I was basically, bringing up Miss Mota, like, hey, you are so involved and, taking care of stuff, like, let's take a look at this together and see what we can do. And,
Yeah.
I'll be honest, like, we freaked out. We were like, whoa, like this is turning out crazy. So like everything you see in the video is like, modeled and touched by Miss Mota. Like she,
Wow.
basically everything is custom. We're not using, any pre-built.
So what did you do?
Right, I didn't do anything. I just said, hey, Miss Mota,
No, he did amazing level design.
So I was in charge of level design. I handle communications with the Metakey leadership. I kind of direct the direction of the artwork. I sort of like present
He says the big
vibe.
picture.
Yeah,
Very nice.
So I kind of I take from what they're looking for, right? I speak with
Right.
Metakey and I really get in their heads. Same way with the Bored Apes, right? Like I kind of like look and listen. And I've been a Metakey holder for like over a year. I've been a fan of their project for a long time. And so it was like a given, like of course I would build for Metakey in a heartbeat. And I mean, same. I'm just like honored and like just like taken back that they approached me and were like, no, we want you to build this. And I'm like, okay, I got Miss Mota here. She's amazing. We're gonna give you something. And yeah, so this is several months of work.
Slaterade, we gotta steal Miss Mota and Tropical.
we gotta take a run through the Sandstorm hub or something. So teaming up with Miss Mota was amazing. I'm honestly taken back, like just really like freaked out that just us two were able to kind of knock this out. And I think
Yeah, but
Is
also
this a one by
like
one? Just so the
one by two.
2
chat
by
knows?
1.
2 by 1.
It's a 2 by 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But Metakey made really easy on us because they have amazing material. Billy, their artist, is incredible.
Yeah.
So like we got all his artwork and took inspiration from that and followed his palette and tried to keep it fast as the language that Metakey created.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big part of it was that, their like lead artist was doing all the concept artwork for us. So like, again, this is very different from like the Bored Ape, like building experience. Bored Apes were like, hey, you're an ape, like go do ape stuff and, figure it out. But be creative. They supported us and guided us, the whole way, but we're kind of like open to ideas, because with the Bored Ape lore and story, it's sort of like that, it's the community's building it. And the same thing happens for Metakey, but they provide such a rich story and lore. And, there's like races of different like species of, you know, aliens, and there's like a purpose for the captain, and you know, and like, you know, her overall intent, and like she's like kind of like the head person who leads the way for the meta crew.
Mhm.
You know, the artwork was exceptional, and Billy is no joke. He just amazing artist who like will look at something and say, oh, this needs a little more of this, and push it more this direction. You know, the plant life should be, you know, like a percentage of realistic, but maybe 30% alien, and you know, with
Right.
glowing effect. So very curated, right? This was not. It was very you know, intentional. You know, we have like 6, 7 different blocks for just grass alone. So like a variety of colors. You know, we have
Yeah.
like 6, 7 different assets for just grass alone. You know, we have like dead grass, you know, sort of dead, alive grass, and then rich green grass
Taller
and
grass.
tall grass, you know, variety of there, you know. We have plants that wave around that are slightly animated. You know, there's like
Is this
water
going
drops.
live anywhere? Is it live anywhere right now? Or
Not right now, no. So it's closed off still. We're shooting for maybe the next
alpha?
alpha event, if anything. If not, perhaps some sort of standalone experience
Okay.
where, but we're not sure. This is still kind of brewing. But yeah, essentially it's just basically similar to the Bored Ape world. This is kind of like a first look, a first dive into the kind of Metakey world, a bigger world that's to come. As
Hmm.
some I know, a Metakey has, um, you know, just like an insane amount of sandbox lands. So we've been lucky enough to basically be onboarded, you know, to their kind of like trusted, you know, developers,
Hmm.
and you know, they are having us on to sort of build their lands out, you know, as far as we can go, and you know, and what they're willing to kind of like just, you know, take the time to cooperate on and work on. But yeah, one thing I want to point out about the artwork here, Miss Mota did an insane job of capturing that language of like the color use, texture, right? We wanted a sci-fi experience, you know, futuristic. So those stainless steel, metal, you know, like glowing edges. You know, I love that door, that like giant,
I
you know.
do. I do have some
Mm,
concept art folder. Was this
yeah,
made by Billy?
that is,
Yeah,
yeah, that is Billy's art.
Can
Yeah,
I share these?
you can.
please do.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
I
Because
just
Hold
got
on.
it
it's
for.
I have to share because like
Yeah.
I am a sucker for concept
Mm,
art, and
yeah.
I try to do it as much as we can in our builds as well.
Yeah.
We have artists in house and we hire out artists outside, but
Yeah.
um,
So, quick
and
note about this piece, that the layout of the structure, the building, that Billy drew that like on the spot. We were just in a
oh
chat,
wow,
just like hanging out, talking about what this could look like. And I was streaming the Sandbox build, and we're like, well, we got this much room, and this and that. And, you know, he just starts going to town. Just, we're like both streaming our screens, and
that's
just
crazy.
yeah, and that was the initial like inspiration for the hub itself, for the building, the headquarters.
Yeah, and you guys definitely did do a great job capturing.
Mhm.
I mean, he did an amazing job
Yeah,
with what he
yeah,
wanted, but
yeah,
you know,
and
you
this,
guys did an amazing job just bringing it
mhm.
to life.
Yeah, and this is I think me and Miss Mota's favorite picture right here.
yeah,
Um,
these pictures set the vibe for the whole game.
yeah.
Wow,
Mhm.
how long did it take for him to create these?
Those I'm not too sure.
Because those are for New Ganymede.
Yes. So some of those are for the new Ganymede experience.
Got it. Okay.
And so we were trying not to copy the new Ganymede game that they're working on, but more of
Hmm.
just take inspiration from it and then kind of make it our
Make it
own.
your own. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they were very cool about that too. Like they would look at our world and be like, "This is looking good. Keep going." And we're like, "Okay, do you want me to change something?" Or they're like, "Nope." And they're like, "We almost don't even want to tell you what to do. Like you're doing the right thing. Keep going." And like they didn't want to interrupt, and whatever, me and Mota were just kind of vibing so hard on this that we were just like really into it. Like we were very genuinely excited. You know,
and they get into it, like, so
Mhm.
they get so excited, and like we had this Metacola vending machine. They made a trailer for the vending machine.
Yeah, yeah. They just go all out. You know, they love to engage in what we're doing and kind of feed off of this, you know, this energy. And interestingly enough, you know, we were almost like, you know, inspiring them to take the game world in kind of new directions. You know, so it's with Metakey, it's been such a rewarding experience, you know, just connecting with them and working with them. You know, they're investing lots of time into us and putting effort into just like making sure we're comfortable, that, you know, we're happy, you know, that everything is, you know, running smoothly. You know, they're willing to hang out and like chat, you know, and talk about this in a very like casual way to just, you know, just to make sure, you know, we're all having fun. We like what we're doing. You know, we want to make sure this world is fun, you know, to experience. And, you know, if we're having a good time, then that reflects in the work. And it really does reflect, I think. The Metakey is a pretty special build for us. Again, this was just us two, so I think it shows what's next, you know, what's to come for us. We're very dedicated. We're very excited. You know, we want to continue creating very immersive experiences like this. You know, and if us two can put our heads together, you know, I can't wait to finish organization in the back end and go back to our list of artists I said earlier and just like present them with a new workflow, you know, a revamped and refreshed Discord, and just like get to work, you know. And
Yeah, we
now,
learned a lot from the both builds.
That's very cool. And
Yeah.
one thing, are you guys open to accepting other projects? Are you guys kind of busy or in the cleanup process right now? The reason why I'm asking is obviously, you know, we at Sandstorm we'll also get a lot of bills and requests, and we will do a lot of that ourselves as well. But we'll probably start to transition at some point once we get enough studios and builders that have teams or like yourself, and you know, start pushing you guys the work to do that, right? So where do you stand as a studio on that?
we we are so currently at the moment, you know, there's more work to be done for Bored Apes, and there's more work to be done for Metakey. But with that said, you know, like, you know, we both follow the NFT space. You know, we
Right.
both are excited about, you know, many projects. You know, I have lots of projects in my mind that I would love to build for, just because like I'm excited to see what the world could look like. And I'm sure Miss Mota feels the same way. Like
Yeah.
we've sat there and daydreamed about, oh, who could we build for, you know, like who's out there, you know, who could we connect with. But for now, we're pretty busy with these two projects. You know, and it's kind of different too, right? Because I know a lot of developers out right now are like, have like a lot of people they're building for, you know,
Right.
they even use that as like a way to say, you know, we're doing, you know, look at what we're doing because we have like 50 plus experiences built out. Meanwhile,
Right.
we only have two, and we've been working for like a year, over a year, and we only have
Yeah.
two. But that's the thing, is like we're just really trying to be hyper focused, and we're a small team, right? Like
Yeah.
me and Miss Mota are like the heads of the art side, right? We take
Mhm.
care of, you know, art direction and you know, just production, moving stuff forward. But like we're also the artist, you know. So like
Right.
Miss
And
Mota takes care of environment design, and then I do a lot of the level design and concepting. So like we're really very involved, and we want to stay that way. I don't want to like pinch off and become like
right,
a
right.
CEO
Big
who
studio.
says, hello everybody, I'm in another meeting, you know, today with Sam.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to build, and so does Miss Mota. That's important to us. We don't want to move away from those positions. And so we have to be hyper focused and careful about who we take on, and just like, you know, continue on this like kind of strict path for
That's
ourselves.
that's
But
awesome,
with that said, we are expanding. We are trying to
man.
reposition our artists and like maybe break them off. Like, okay, we can work on this now. A team works here, B team works here, and so on and so forth. And that's where we're trying to get to, so we can take on more work.
Right.
Which maybe within a month or two or something, we will be like, ready to go to take on more work.
And just before we start to get closed off and see what your short term and your long term goals are, how long did this specific build take you guys to build? Was this a year?
No, I would
The
say,
Metakey?
yeah. How
Yeah.
long do you think it's been, Miss Mata?
I think it's been like 4 months.
4 months. Yeah, I would say that's
Top.
yeah. I would say so. About 4 months of work, and pretty much every day we work, and we meet like 2-3 times a week. So, and we meet weekly with the Metakey team. So we're always showing progress
Mhm.
updates, once a week. Yeah.
But we are getting quicker. Like you go building and create experiences, you get like easier ways to do it, and I think like that's our focus also, like to organize
Right.
things and get quicker.
Yeah.
That's very awesome. So what is the short term goals now for CC Dev?
Basically what Miss Mota said, I think we're trying to reorganize a bit, create an
Fo-
identity. Mhm.
Yeah, get closer to the community also. That's one of our main goals
Yeah.
on the next days.
So just like I would say, yeah, just trying to create more of an identity, because we've been so busy, behind the scenes, that I feel like I'm missing out a bit, and maybe Miss Monta too. Like, we want to share work and we want to be out there and engaging, but with these projects, it's kind of hard because like with Bored Ape, they don't really like sharing stuff right away.
Right.
And it makes sense because, well, we all know how, people scrutinize anything that the Bored Apes do. The Metakey, same thing. I mean, they're big projects. So like, I had to sign a non-disclosure and be careful with what I say and share. So it's kind of out of our hands, right? Like it's been so long, and we can't scream out to the world just yet, but this is what we're doing. And this is that first step, right? Like having this meeting and, and connecting and speaking out about what we do. And I promise we'll try to be more active on Twitter and stuff going forward.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Now that we're sharing
And
our work.
and do you, and for long term goals, I remember before we got on the call, you mentioned like becoming a full game studio. Is that something you guys are doing long term?
For
Yeah,
sure.
Could you mention?
Yeah. So, I think, like me and Miss Mota have kind of like daydreamed about, what we could do with this, where we could take it. And I think we both feel the same way that, we love building inside the sandbox, and, we want to continue development there. But we are also just interested in the metaverse idea,
Right.
in general. So, if when the other side opens up, we'd want to be there too.
Right.
I don't know, Webiverse, all these other, projects, if we can get into these other, areas, we would. And, I think it's our goal is just to kind of keep, expanding and building, like, Miss Mota focuses on a lot of environment stuff, and, how do we keep building on that? How do we expand on that? And, these worlds are going to get bigger, more complex. And so
Right.
for us, this is kind of a learning experience to get to that point, and to kind of really hone in on our skills that we are, that we feel are strong, and, push that out to other areas. So like, the other side, hopefully, and just other metaverse platforms in general.
Well, I mean, I'm blown away by everything I saw and heard today, guys. And is there any closing thoughts? Anything that you guys want to bring up, or something you forgot to mention, maybe?
Please check out their Bored Ape World coming on October.
I
We're very
guarantee you,
excited
we're
to-
all gonna be in there. We're gonna be taking screenshots and posting Twitter and tagging you guys. we'll
Yes.
make sure to do
Cool.
that.
Yeah, me and Miss Monta will try to, yeah, like I said, part of being more engaging, we'll definitely be out there once things go live, and I don't know, maybe we'll do a little like kind of exciting, a little kind of, I don't know, little game or something, or I don't know what we'll do yet. Not
I
sure.
can help you with that. I can help with that. We'll get it
Ooh,
hooked up.
Something. I don't
okay.
know, maybe a giveaway. I don't really know. But you know, just yeah, something to build up the excitement around it because we're very excited. And like Miss Mota said, yeah, please come check out our worlds. You know, we are very excited. It means a lot to us, and all the other artists that I mentioned earlier, you know, they're very excited.
We're super anxious to share their work.
Yes,
Like they are anxious.
yeah, we're all anxious like to share something, but the time is almost here. So,
Yeah, almost there.
almost-
Alrighty, guys. I want to thank you for joining us today and providing us all the information, telling us who you are, and we're definitely going to be watching out to see what you guys doing, watching out for the releases of these experiences, and yeah, I want to thank you guys for being here.
Hey, thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much
Thanks for having us.
for
Guys.
having us.
Yeah, we're big fans
Guys.
of the Sandstorm project. You know, I remember jumping in the Discord in Sandstorm like when it first launched back in the day. But unfortunately, I had to go instantly quiet then, so I couldn't say anything. But I've been in there watching along. So thanks so much for having us. It's a huge honor for us. It means a lot to us too to be able to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, like when I first went to Sandstorm, I was like, these guys are a gimmick. Now I'm I'm the CTO there, so it's not a gimmick anymore. I'm joking. All jokes aside, all jokes. Don't fire me, Steve. Love you. All right. All right, guys. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys check out CC Dev. Make sure you guys follow Miss Moda and Tropical. I want to thank everybody for watching and tuning in. Thanks for dropping by, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.